Daiki. Hey, what are you doing? I'll just adjust this. Alexa, play classic music.
The playlist Classic Hits on Amazon Music.
Now, Alexa, play classical music.
Here's Classical Violin on Amazon Music.
Good enough. Alexa, turn volume down to 2. Daiki, what are you doing? Don't know if anybody's on here yet. We're gonna wait a little while. You gonna come over here? Botrix has successfully joined the channel. Daiki. Guess he's just gonna chillax over there. He's just laying down. I want to make sure that you can see this. Maybe move it over here. In 1993, you punched my mom in the stomach in a nightclub bathroom. I apologize for that. Actually, in 1993, I was 4 years old. I must have been one hell of a 4-year-old. Holy shit. Bro, I was a awesome 4-year-old if I could punch moms in the stomach. Also, good evening. Benzo Banks. Appreciate you hopping in. Let's see, where did we left off on... Hope you're having a good evening. I don't know if you... Have you been into my reading streams before? First time. I was thinking, that's what I thought. Okay. So, just to inform you, every evening so far I've been doing a reading stream. I am reading this series right here, Severing Time and Space. I'm on chapter 5, so you might be a little lost. But if you just need, like, someone's droning voice to help put you to sleep, this is the place to be then. So I'm waiting to see if there are a few other people. I have some regulars who come on and pop in with me, so I figured I'd wait a little bit longer to see if there's any of my regulars will come on to the stream. Usually they come on after they get notified. So you might be the first person. River and Ravens. Evening. I hope you are doing well. Who's the main character? Definitely not me. Couldn't be me. I'm just a storyteller. If anything, I would be like the bard. Except I don't have a great voice. You know. Also, welcome, Forgotten Primarchs. By any chance, is Forgotten Primarchs a... Is Forgotten... Yes, I talk like I'm in an anime all the time. Is Forgotten Primarchs a reference to Warhammer 40k by any chance? I just saw Primarch and I'm just curious. Maybe it is. Alright, well. If you are a 40k fan, I am wondering what army you have. Oh ho. Oh-ho. Only in Ohio. Only in Ohio gozaimasu. Alright, it seems I got a few people coming in now. So, for those of you who are new, this is my bedtime story stream. I'm reading this. We are currently on Chapter 5. You could say that. Emperor's Children, Death Guard. Gotcha. Okay. Grey Knights. This is true. I am just a shirtless bro streaming in my bed. This is true. So for those of you who are new, yes, this is a bedtime story stream. Reading a book. That's literally all I will be doing. If my cat, who's just lying over there like a lemon, comes, you might get to see him. But this is gonna be about it. So I go on to femboy. Unfortunately, I'm not a femboy. Sometimes I wish I was a femboy. We all long to be an Astolfo, but I think my man tits are too big for that. It's very sad. My cat's name? Cat's name is Daiki. That's a little gross. Go on to your dad's feet. Dad has hobbit. Does he have hobbit feet? Oh, you goon to your dad's feet. Well, didn't realize there was a market for that, but I suppose sometimes there are. There's a market. I guess there's a market for everything. I once thought of opening an OnlyFans and doing just feet pics, but I didn't think there was a market for that. Now that I know better, maybe I will do that instead, and I will become a true e-boy. And thank you, Raven. His, River and Ravens. His name, it means great radiance. Meth, men, and masturbating. Well, I don't know much about meth, but masturbation is something I'm very, knowledgeable about. I am a great mass debater. Alright. I feel like I've got enough people on here. I will be reading. You guys can chat if you want, or you can just sit back, relax, and listen. Maybe, if you're lucky, you'll fall asleep. So we're on chapter 5 right now. Unreal and Mastering. That is a very impressive rank. Not even an hour had passed since Wu Jian challenged Wu Yang, and he was already regretting it. What had he been thinking? Why did he challenge someone who is not only several years older than him, but also so much stronger? Had his brain left him? Was he stupid? Wu Jian couldn't stop trembling at the thought of fighting Wu Yang. That was very reckless, Wu Meiying chided him with a sigh, as she swept back midnight bangs from her eyes to glower at him. Yeah, you think so too, huh? Wu Jian gave her a tepid smile. He looked down at his hands, which were still shaking. Clenching them to make them stop just made his entire arm shake instead. I know what I did was stupid. You don't have to tell me. I already know. They were in the hospital wing again. It wasn't his mother who was there today, but an older man with a bald head, a long beard, and surprisingly no wrinkles, making him appear younger than he really was. The hanfu he wore was pure white and immaculate, not a speck of dust on it. His name was Wu Shaolin. He was the clan's healer, who often worked with his mother and a hunger realm cultivator. Wu Jian didn't know what sub-realm he was at, but there was a rumor going around that he was close to breaking through to the anima realm. That means he's probably at the 9th sub-realm of the hunger realm, right? Most Wu clansmen were only at the hunger realm. Only a few, like his father, mother, and his father's second wife, were at a higher realm. Resources were scarce in the countryside. Alchemy pills and natural treasures were akin to unicorn horns and phoenix feathers, nearly impossible to find. When something was discovered, it always went to the clan head and elders, who needed to cultivate more than the others since it was their duty to protect the interests of the clan. Unfortunately, since the Wu clan did not have much in the way of resources or money, they were unable to afford such treasures often. The Wu clan did not have any alchemists, someone who possessed a natural affinity for the wood and fire elements, and used those two affinities to refine alchemy pills. Alchemists were rare, especially in small countries like the Shang Kingdom. Even more so when they lived out in the countryside like the Wu clan did. Wu Jian had been told about the Alchemist Association. They had several branches in the Shang Kingdom, but most of the alchemists were low tier compared to other nations with more plentiful resources. Zon City was located so far from everything else that it rarely appeared on any maps. There was no way an alchemist would ever come to such a place, not when they were in such high demand in larger, more prosperous cities. There was no money to be made here. Because they had no alchemist, they relied on healers like Wu Shaolin to help them mend injuries. Wu Shaolin had just finished wrapping bandages smeared in a healing salve around Wu Jian's torso. The salve was made from herbs that Wu Shaolin had crushed into a paste. It was dark green and smelled funny, and it itched when it slathered on his skin, but it worked wonders to promote the body's natural healing. His ribs were indeed broken. That explained why the pain was so much more intense than anything he had ever felt before. Wu Jian was sitting on one of the beds. A worried Wu Meiying sat beside him on a chair. You aren't normally the kind of person who would stand up to Wu Yong like that. Wu Meiying spoke again, slowly, as if carefully choosing her words. Is what I said the other day the reason why you put yourself in harm's way? You said it yourself, right? If I don't get stronger, well, I probably won't be around for long. Wu Jian took a shuddering breath as he lowered his hands onto his knees and looked at her. His lips trembled, but he was still able to form a smile. I don't want to die, and I don't want you to be taken from me. If the day you saw in your vision ever comes, and someone tries to take you away, I want to be strong enough to protect you. Wu Jian, thank you. Wu Meiying's voice was choked with emotion as she placed her hands over one of his. She didn't cry, though moisture did gather in her eyes. There was joy in her smile. The warmth from her hands filled him. It told him that he had made the right choice to stand up to Wu Yong. If he could see her smile like this, he would gladly stand up to anyone, even his father. Wu Jian was one of the only people who never doubted her words. Reading indeed. Welcome, Dianime. It's good to see you. Thanks again for playing Resident Evil 6 with me this morning. While everyone else assumed she was just a child who spoke nonsense, and that the events she predicted were mere coincidence, he believed everything she said. It might have taken a little while before he began to truly believe her, but even when he hadn't, he still supported her in front of everyone else. That alone meant the world to her. To be young and in love, Wu Shaolin said with a wistful smile. His words earned him a pair of bright grins from the two children. Well, of course. May and I are getting married when we grow up. I can't wait for our wedding. Wu Shaolin chuckled at the pair of unrepentantly beaming children. Since the healing salve had been applied, there wasn't any reason for the two of them to remain in the hospital wing. Wu Shaolin warned Wu Jian to take it easy for the next few days. He was not allowed to do anything that would put stress on his healing ribs. This would cut back into his training, which they had only just started, but he supposed that was what he deserved for acting stupid. He could even call it karma. What should we do now? Asked Wu Jian, as they made their way across the clan compound. There were a lot of people wandering about. The few they passed on the walkway stepped aside and bowed to Wu Jian, though it was more out of courtesy for his title than because they respected him. He was sure that, to many, he was just an undeserving child who happened to be the clan head's son. Will I one day earn the respect of these people? Honor and respect were taken seriously. They were the cornerstones of their society. To earn respect, one had to honor their family, and the best way to do that was by becoming strong. Therefore, if you were strong, you were honoring your family, which would earn you respect. Right now, Wu Jian was weak, but if he became stronger... Right now, we should rest. You need to heal, Wu Meiying chided him, interrupting Wu Jian's thoughts. But after that, we need to begin training, right? Is there any way we can increase my training? Asked Wu Jian. Wu Meiying tilted her head and tapped a pale finger against her lips, appearing thoughtful. There might be. Let's go ask Wu Yiyi if there are any books that can help us. They went over to the library. Unfortunately, when they arrived and explained what they wanted to Wu Yiyi, what he told them brought nothing but disappointment. I am sorry to say this, but there are very few ways to increase your strength right now. Seeing the desolate expressions on the pair's faces, Wu Yiyi explained. Did you read the scroll I gave you on cultivation? They nodded. Right now, you and everyone else below the age of 18 are at the body forging realm. This isn't a realm so much as the state before a realm. At this stage, your body is unable to hold any chi, because your meridians have not yet formed, and your dantian is still inactive. In order to reach the hunger realm, you must forge your body into a strong vessel. The stronger your body is, the more chi it can hold, and the better you will be at manipulating it. A strong vessel can hold more without breaking, after all. This means you must physically train your body until it is strong enough to generate its own chi. So, what you're saying is that all we can do is train like normal? Asked the dejected Wu Jian. Wu Yiyi nodded, his smile amiable, just like his nickname. Correct. Well, of course, there are medicinal herbs and alchemy pills that can help forge a young person's body into a strong receptacle for chi, but there are not many herbs available locally, and there are very few pills on the market in Zan City. The only place where you might find some are the Twin Fang Mountains and its surrounding forests. But I don't need to tell you how dangerous that place is. The Twin Fang Mountains was the name of the two mountains that Zan City and the Wu clan were nearby. So named because they looked like two monster fangs jutting from the earth to pierce the heavens. His mother and father had told him to never go there, that dangerous magical beasts lived in the area. In other words, they couldn't go out and find any natural treasures, and the chances of them being able to rely on alchemy pills to increase their strength was so small as to be non-existent. Wu Meiying frowned. Does Yoshi Shushu not have alchemy pills he can let his son use? Young lady, Wu Yiyi said, his tone stern. While the Wu clan does indeed have some alchemy pills, they are not something that can be used on a whim, and certainly not for something as petty as a dispute between siblings. Wu Jian furrowed his brow, which caused the old man to chuckle. What? Did you think I wouldn't know about what happened? Don't look so surprised. I'm quite certain everyone has heard about how you challenged your half-brother to a duel during the biannual strength test. Wu Jian snapped his mouth closed. He knew it would only be a matter of time before people learned about the altercation between himself and Wu Yang, but he was not expecting everyone to have heard about it so soon. Since Wu Yiyi had nothing to offer them, the pair headed back to the Wu Jian's building, dejected. They were forced to stop, however, when they saw someone standing to the door, before the door to his room. Wu Jian gulped as the tall and intimidating form of his father loomed over him. His father had an inscrutable look on his face as he stared them down, arms crossed over his broad chest. His Hanfu Rukun was red and black, intimidating colors that helped accentuate the roaring golden dragon embroidered on the fabric. He was holding something in his left hand, but Wu Jian was too busy focusing on how massive his father was to pay attention. Yoshi Shushu, it's a pleasure to see you again. Wu Meiying pressed her right fist into her left hand and bowed respectfully. To what do we owe the honor of your visit? His father raised an eyebrow at Wu Meiying, but she just smiled slyly at him, which caused him to snort before he turned his attention back to Wu Jian. I heard you challenged Wu Yang to a duel during the strength test in 6 months, he said, voice a bass rumble, low and filled with indomitable strength. Wu Jian still shivered every time he heard it. He was not asking Wu Jian a question. Wu Jian was not sure what he should say now. Should he admit that he challenged his half-brother to a duel? Would his father be mad at him for doing so? He gulped in fear, but decided the best thing he could do was tell the truth. Nothing good ever came from lying. It was one of the few lessons he had learned from Wu Yang. That's right. I did challenge him. Huh. So it's true. I am relieved. Huh? While Wu Jian stared stupidly at his father, as though he couldn't believe what he had just heard, his father gave him a smile. It was small and awkward. In fact, most people would probably think it was just his lips twitching in agitation. But Wu Jian had stared at his father's face many times, so he could tell the difference. That said, it looked wrong on him. Unnatural. Maybe because the man almost never smiled. Until now, you have never stood up for yourself when Wu Yang bullied you. I was beginning to worry that you didn't have a single masculine bone in your body. But it appears I was mistaken. You can be manly when given the correct motivation. Wu Jian didn't know what to say. Even Wu Meiying appeared to be at a loss for words. Anyway, take this. His father pressed something into Wu Jian's hands. These ones are not ingested orally. Drop one of them into your bath tonight and the others every morning after you finish your physical exercises. They should help. After speaking, his father turned and left, though he spoke over his shoulder once before disappearing. I look forward to seeing the results of your training. Wu Jian and Wu Meiying didn't do anything for several seconds. After looking at each other, they rushed into his compound, burst into his room, and locked the door. Wu Jian even closed the shutters over his window, so no one could see inside. The room was cast in darkness, until he lit the small lamp by his bedside. Then, he and Wu Meiying stared at the box that now sat on the floor. It was a very pretty box, painted with a sky blue finish and swirling clouds dotting the wood grain. What do you think is inside? Asked Wu Jian. We won't know unless we open it, Wu Meiying said. Right. Gotta open it first. Wu Jian's hand shook as he undid the strings keeping the box closed, then slowly pulled back the lid. A strong medicinal scent struck his nose, so thick and pungent that he almost gagged. Peering inside the box, he stared at the dozen green pills neatly sitting on a cushion. Each one glistened with a pearlescent shine. Aren't these alchemy pills? Asked Wu Jian, blinking like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. They are, Wu Meiying said. But wasn't Wu Yeye just saying Fu Qin would never give me these over something petty like a dispute between siblings? Wu Meiying smiled, even as she shrugged. He did, but maybe Yoshi Shushu cares about you more than anyone realizes. Wu Jian looked back at the pills, his chest swelling with an emotion he had never felt before. He had always assumed his father didn't approve of him. Wu Yoshi barely seemed to pay him any attention, especially recently, and when he did, it was to tell Wu Jian how disappointed he was in him. Having his father provide him with these alchemy pills caused his heart to soar. It was proof that his father did not hate him. I certainly hope you're right, he said in a soft voice. Alright, and that is the end of Chapter 5 of Severing Time and Space. Do want to let everyone know this is my book. I wrote this and published it, and if you want to read along, or if you want to read ahead, or if you just got onto this stream randomly and you're like, what the fuck is this guy reading? And you want to read the first few chapters, you can grab a copy of this at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart. Any online shop will have it. Google, Apple Books. Powerpuff Girls Z is officially happening. Raven. Good to see you. I did not even realize Powerpuff Girls was still a thing. That's like my childhood right there. Like I was saying, this is available on pretty much everywhere, so I would be grateful if you grabbed a copy and read it, but you don't have to because I'm reading on here. And I do think whether you are on Facebook or not Facebook, sorry, YouTube or Twitch, you can watch my previous videos if you want to know what happened. So you can buy a copy if you want, and I would be grateful for the support, but it is not required. Let me pull this up here. Z is an anime take on the Powerpuff Girls and toys involved. Interesting. I'll be interested in seeing how that is. I might actually watch that. That was my childhood, after all. Really quickly, we're going to flip it over to here. Hey, buddy. So, you guys didn't get to see him today because he didn't come over. Usually he likes to sit between my legs, but I guess today he was not feeling it. So, this is Daiki. And he's my little bobcat. I actually don't know what he is. I rescued him when he was 2 months old from a shelter. You coming over, kiddo? Yeah, this is usually what he likes to do right here. Maybe. There he goes. Right between my legs. That probably sounds really bad to some people. Oh, he's licking himself. Oh, gosh. Oh. Fortunately, it is not his anus. Just his tail. Give me a second. Let me see if I can flip the screen one more time. There we go. Alright, well, I appreciate you guys joining me for this evening bedtime stream. I will probably do this again tomorrow. So if any of you want to hop in, feel free. It's 9:30 where I live right now, so I am heading out. Thank you all for joining me, and I hope you have a great evening. Have a good night. How do I press the... I'm just pressing stop, and it's not stopping. Bro, there we go.